Yo, what's going on, everyone? Stardust, welcome back. We're talking Suicide Squad today. Now, I know I've been doing a lot of Marvel stuff lately, but I played a lot of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League when it initially came out. And then when Joker came out, I immediately was put off the game. There's not really a reason for that. Kind of just thought to myself, if Season 0, right, was all the game ever had to offer, then I'm alright. You know what I mean? I don't need to keep playing. You know, there's hardly a story here and all that. So I basically did I got Joker for nothing, did the Brainiac fight, called it a day, right? Season 2's just been announced. We've got Mrs. Freeze. Now, listen, this is going to be a brutal take, but Mrs. Freeze does not sell as many copies, or let's say gets as many players as Mr. Freeze, because Mr. Freeze is a more recognisable name. If you wanted to use a character that uses freezing abilities and is a woman, then Killer Frost is right there. But let's just, move on from that, because let's be honest, right, with this design, right, all you would need to do is make a couple of adjustments, and you could have still called her Mr. Freeze. Do you get what I mean? Like, you could have, marketing-wise, but we'll just move on anyway. Season of Frozen Hearts, available July 25th. Welcome to our Season 2 update. In this blog, we'll be taking you through, the traversal looks pretty cool. I won't lie, being able to glide across, frozen stuff. Victoria Freeze is an ice-cold, self-sufficient survivalist who has watched the Elseworld turn to ice as Brainiac's invasion took hold. By the time we meet her in Season 2, she has spent years as the last holdout of her dying planet, unwilling to leave her cryogenically frozen wife behind. But after being recruited by the squad, she may have the chance to save her and unleash icy hell. Now, by the way, I just want to clear up immediately that I'm totally fine with, different versions of characters, Elseworlds, different stories, backgrounds, and stuff like that. My point is, with previously, was that, this game isn't really in a position to take risks. It's really not. You know what I mean? And Mr. Freeze is more of a name. Now, this is, again, totally fine. The only thing you can have with this is a lot of people being like, Sweet Baby Inc., at it again, forcing lesbians into my products. Even though, obviously, it's not really a problem. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? It's not a thing. Because if this ended up being cryogenically frozen husband, it would have been like, the men are getting weak. You know what I mean? So, but Mrs. Freeze is bringing some much-needed expertise to the squad in the form of her freeze tech. The primary way she utilises her inventions is through her traversal, which incorporates a combination of ice-cool control and super smooth sliding that makes for a fast-paced, dynamic, and totally unique traversal kit. This is what it looks like, by the way. Which, again, I like this because it kind of looks like they're sort of reusing the assets from the Joker gliding with the umbrella, but making it just so much more cooler. I mean, it looks really nice. I really like it. So, again, at least traversal-wise, they've absolutely smashed it once again, so that's really cool. Mrs. Freeze can approach combat in a variety of ways. Can I be honest? You really can't. They will always talk about all these fancy different ways for you to get into combat and stuff like that. But if I'm being honest, it all resorts to melee with shield harvesting, because it's insane, or just shooting, right? Calculated play, her assault rifle pistols allow her to pick off enemies from long distances. Everyone can do that. That's nothing. If you did melee combat in this game, I think people would just liked it a lot more. I think guns, it's just not, it doesn't hit, and this is why the traversal's got to be spot on, and luckily it is, but that's kind of all the game's got going for it, really. The cooler playstyle enables her cryotech, turning her into an unstoppable tank with incredible crowd-controlling freeze powers, as you would expect from someone called Mrs. Freeze. With the snowball effect talent, melee kills will cause all enemies nearby to instantly freeze, which again seems cool, but you can't melee frozen enemies. This couples perfectly with ethermic transfer, which comes at the cost of causing melee hits to remove the freeze status from enemies, but regenerating 25% shield. Yeah, that's fair enough, but that's a specific build, right? So that's a little annoying, I guess. This is awful. Again, they didn't learn from the Joker DLC for some reason, which made you have to level up to 35 and grind these boring missions just to get the Joker. To recruit Mrs. Freeze to your squad, you will need to complete a series of incursions to locate her before she can be persuaded to join. Elseworld missions will unlock in a specified order in Season 2, meaning once they have been completed and you have reached episode rank 25, you can fight against a new Brainiac and recruit her. Now, it's just going to be a case of buy her for a tenner or play a bunch of boring stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, again, grinding these episode ranks and mastery ranks. It's just boring. It just is. Like, it's just not for me, really. But, but it was. The thing is, it was. But I was playing it with the concept of there's going to be more. And then it just wasn't, One of the big additions in Season 2 is the new Frozen Elseworld to explore. You'll find a few familiar... Right, again, I know it just feels like I'm bashing this game, and it is, to be fair. But let's talk about these Elseworlds. So, when the Joker one come out and I spoke about it, my biggest problem with the Joker one was it was literally just random fucking placed assets of Joker shit planted over the same spot we faced, this dusty little, purple platformed areas that we'd be fighting the entire game. Yeah, it was just, there's a cube over there, it's a fucking dice cube, there's a Joker poster over there, oh look, it's Joker's Elseworld. It was nonsense, it was completely stupid. This is probably going to be that, but it's just all frozen. So, in fact, I'm with there it is, look. We've been here so many times. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've seen these areas so many times, and this time it's just frozen. Like, cool. Cool. And that's another thing as well that turns people off games like this that aren't able to do new environments, is you just get bored seeing the same shit. You do. You genuinely do. So I'll talk about the First Ascendant that come out recently, right? All the areas have kind of their own distinct flavour, shall we say. So when you go back to them, it's kind of like, oh, this is, fair enough. Whereas, Suicide Squad, everywhere just looks the same. Like, the last one was just, some casino stuff about. This one's just got snow in it. It's the Miles Morales game treatment of, this is a different map because it's Christmas. You know what I mean? But as the Suicide Squad break into this inhospitable world, they will be faced with a host of new challenges and dangers. Frozen climate causes ice storms to crash down to the ground as the squad completes their missions. I'm sure that won't be fucking annoying in the slightest. This is a cool concept. I like this. This looks cool. This looks pretty cool. I mean, I'm sure that's just in the distance and you can't go to it. But to help Task Force X keep icing Brainiac's goons in such a child. In these challenging new conditions are a host of new mutators. Take Heavy as the head, which boosts the damage of your next grenade by 100% for every burning enemy you hit with a melee strike. Up to a max of 1000%. Couple this with any of the high radius grenades and you'll be blowing whole swaths of bad guys to smithereens. And for Brain Freeze, killing a frozen enemy grants you 10 combo instantly, allowing for a fast-paced and reckless style of play. It's clear that while the sub-zero temperatures elsewhere will be a great danger, Mr. Freeze is able to harness it to an even playing field against Brainiac and his armies. Yeah, I guess. I guess. Along with a new character to master and an Elseworld battleground to dominate, Season 2 also adds a new set of gear items to track down, and as you'll soon see, we've created our very own Song of Ice and Fire. So we're gonna look into this. So we got Killer Frost, Infamy set. Oh, that's a bit of a That's a bit crazy. Across the tiers, you'll be building up Killer Frost's signature heat absorption buff to empower your enemies. Yeah, okay. Firefly, Notorious Gear, Golden Glider. I mean, you know what, right? One thing I've got to say about the guns in this game. The gun design's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. They smash it out the park every single time. You literally cannot say otherwise. I really think I think it's great. I think it's great stuff. This is, I mean, it's gross, but it's Parasite. Do you know what I mean? So it's not going to be sexy. Built from ice. So, okay, so now we're on about some, I'm guessing these are builds. Right, okay. So we got Mrs. Byrne. Okay. This build is all about using the Firefly's prey. Yeah, okay. We got some skins here. Cool. We got Captain Cold Infamy set. That's another cool character you could have used. Heatwave Notorious Gear. Icicle Notorious Gear. Trickster. I like that. That's sick. That's a really cool design. To help keep this is cool. So they're finally adding like a storage unit where you can put all your guns and stuff like that, so you don't have to just keep deleting everything. I really like that. I'm so glad they're finally doing that. I don't know why it took 2 seasons, but I think this was something that maybe wasn't originally planned and they added now, so I do appreciate it. We got battle pass stuff here. I like these. I genuinely do like these. I actually think they're really cool. So, especially Deadshot's over here. His looks really cool. Mrs. Freeze's is also pretty cool. Kind of a little bit looks like Arnold's Mr. Freeze, just slightly. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, and then we got very old school Arkham fits, which apparently multiple characters are getting, like Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, and stuff like that. I wonder if that means they're just gonna like race swap Deadshot again. Do you know what I mean? That's that's crazy. And then we got Riddler stuff as well, which okay. And then obviously you can switch battle passes, so you can do all that totally fun stuff. And then here's the general poster, and now it's coming out July 25th, even though they originally said it was coming out, I think, on the 11th, and then last second they're like, actually, we've changed our minds. So that was weird, but there you go. So let me know what you guys think, man. I mean, it's hard for me to really sit here and be like, yeah, let's go, this game's sick.